Hello, hello. Welcome to the Wednesday me session. Okay, so let me do my spiel. So, hi, if you're new here, I'm a creature character sculptor during these sessions anyways. I do 3D character art, I do 2D concept as well. I kind of like have a encompassing anything that's fun to do, I will love to do it kind of a thing. So on these streams though, what I like to focus on is treating ZBrush like it's your sketchbook. So not exactly, making anything that is particularly for a specific pipeline. Like, it's not going to end up in a game. It's not going to end up in a film. It's not going to be 3D printed or anything. It's quite literally just what we want to do is sketch, right? Just like you would in a sketchbook. So we're going to be taking a sphere, we're going to be stretching it into all kinds of crazy shapes and try and find, something that's fun to work with out of that. It's a 4-hour long session. So if you are interested in sculpting along, it's a perfect opportunity to do so. And if you have any questions as I'm going, please feel free to ask. I would be more than happy to help you out, because sometimes, again, I will get quiet and then I'll just be like doing my thing. And then sometimes I'll just stop and I'll start talking. This is not necessarily just for those who get confused. It's not specifically a tutorial. It's like a working, like, sketching session, right? So again, if you want to hang out, that's cool. Have a project to work on the side. And then after this 4-hour session, if I'm not completely destroyed, I might be hopping over to Creature Corner for Alien Riders. Alien Riders, yeah. Okay. All right, so we're going to get started. Hi, Maddie. How are you? I just need to make sure that everything is hooked up. So I never know if it's, yeah, okay, it is streaming over there. Yes, and yes. Okay. Get started. Beep boop, beep boop. All right. Okay. No idea, as usual, what the heck I'm going to be doing today. We're just going to start moving this guy around. Man. Hey, Playground, how are you doing? All right. Okay, I'll set up now. Really, let's pull some things out and forward. And we can do an AccuCurve. Yeah, so like everything that I do here, it gets all squiggly at first and bold, but that's kind of like an on purpose sort of thing, just so that we can get some cool shapes and then expand from there. You can get this guy up here. So I'm actually thinking this could be like a mouth. Earlier I was, because I was kind of creating like a reference board for the Alien Rider, because like now I think I'm going to start taking it a little bit too serious. Like my too much genes a little bit kicking in. I'm upset that I haven't been able to work on my Alien Rider. So I was looking at manta rays, because that was going to be one of my inspirations, as well as some like plants and stuff. And now I've just kind of got like that wide mouth sort of thing stuck in my head. So we can maybe do something like that, but maybe it can be like a demon or like a bug. I feel like I do like praying mantis type things a lot. I'm not sure. We'll see where it goes. We'll let the ooey gooeys and the stretchies guide us like usual. Also, sorry again, no music as usual, because of I don't really enjoy the copyright-free music, so you're just gonna have to deal with your own music. Which I think for these streams, because you guys are like working along, kind of like works best. So when I Dynamesh this, everything will kind of like merge together, and all of this will become usable topology, like usable geometry for sculpting on. So we will be preserving this artifacting that's happening. And that actually lends itself to a really fun and nice base to work off of for sketching purposes. Hey Reaper, no, not tomorrow night, tonight. So AKA, I will be finishing this and hopping immediately over if it's still on. So 6 hours today. I'm gonna be taking a break halfway. Today there's a sale on stream. Sale. I'm not sure about what, but 3:30 a.m. is kind of insane. Usually up at 3:30 too. Part-time sleeping. See, for a while there, I was like a 6 a.m. girly. Like, I was waking up, was doing that whole morning routine, and then I just completely fell off. I was like, I'm not going to ignore my true nature. I am a night owl. I can't do that. This. I think overall, I'm just gonna. Steam gaming platform. Gotcha. What are you gonna buy? What game? I still haven't started Elden Ring. Because I know that I'm gonna wanna just play through the game again, and that's like a lot. Hey Adrian, what's good? How are you doing? What if we do like some kind of a rhino thing? Maybe not rhino. Maybe just something bulkier. Maybe this is because like my partner was teaching me a whole bunch about One Piece lore last night. And then I saw the island with the elephant, the giant elephant. And I was like, wow, that thing is a whole mood. Every time I see its face, I'm like, that's me. That's a mood. Hey Sneak, what's up? Yeah, it's been a while. How have you been? Give advice to a noob. Be a little bit more specific, and I would love to. I don't know, like just generalized advice. Drink water. I can't go wrong with drinking water. Can't cancel water. Water's good for you. No matter who you are, you're a person, you need water. Unless like you're like maybe in that super small percentile of people that's like allergic to water. You still need water, but you have to like do it in a different way. The Wacom 1 13-inch, you're thinking of selling your Cintiq's 27 due to how big it is and how much power it draws? Gotcha. I mean, it's just, I don't really have too much of a opinion. I gave mine to somebody, the one that I won years ago. so I don't have an opinion on it. I just say like it's smaller, it's a smaller space, so if you like, I like the bigger ones because it's more gestural, personally. Hi Natavat, how are you? Still doing 3D stuff, but also learning from web dev as a front-end dev. Always nice to, oh, thanks. Yeah, no, that's great. Multiple skills. Don't know what that's like, but I envy you. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, I'm gonna do, actually, let's look at this. Unintentionally, just like looking like the dorkiest looking mouths ever. I think right here, I'm going to try and do some sort of like a scapula, or not scapula, sorry. Oh my god, my brain. This right here, the front part of the rib cage. What the heck is that called again? This one. Sternum. This. So maybe this thing could be like a beetle, but like land. So it has like an intake, right? Maybe that's how it eats, is like on this planet. We're gonna do more aliens, screw it. On this planet, it's just gonna have like a giant intake because there's like swarms of, it's like a land krill eater. Hell yeah, okay, let's go with that. We can take inspiration too, I think, from so like beetle, and then I'm also thinking like those really long-tailed dinosaurs. What are they called? Like the like Brontosaurus? No, like the even longer-tailed. What are they called? I know that we've got some dino people in here. Really long plant eater, long tail, whip tail. What's it called? Yes, yes, yes. Diplodocus. Listen, language is hard for me, okay? So just like, it's fine. Visually, I know what I'm like, I know how to reference visually. I see a lot of things visually, but like words, not my good thing. Not my good thing. Do I still hate red wax? Yeah. Yeah. You want to see? Here, wait. Because I teach a class at CGMA. By the way, class is going to be starting soon. So if you're looking, we've got a few more seats for CGMA. Actually, I can give you guys a link to that. CGMA Intro to ZBrush is what I am teaching with Michael Pavlovich's courses. So if you're looking for like somebody to help you get introduced to ZBrush, we've got a couple more seats available for this semester. So the course is starting on July 10. Our first, oh, there's only 3 seats left. Okay, that jumped really fast. So yeah, we're gonna be starting that soon. So yeah, what I was gonna say is, right, I was gonna show you because like I teach that course, and sometimes what I like to do is like, you know, show everybody like, hey, so this is where I started, because a lot of people are doing like their first sculpt ever, even like their first 3D thing ever in that course, which is really exciting. And so I like to show that I too started at because you said red wax, so I was gonna here, I'll give you a little sneak peek of one of my first. Yes. Bird. Wait, we have like, do I have another one? I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what that is, but it took me a long time. I remember that. Oh yeah. So you could come a long ways. Right now, exactly the same state. So the thing is, with ZBrush, right? And learning, it's about finding how to sketch something and have that initial, like, your base shapes put down very like accurately and in a fun and readable manner. And then you build up on top of that, right? So when you're first starting, you know, in terms of 3D, a lot of the time the jump to detailing happens too fast, and that's where things start to look like it's amateur, even if you have like a really strong foundation in art in general. So then you don't have to say that's beautiful. It's not. So the idea is that you want to be building on top of those simple forms. So I found a way that sketching works for me inside of ZBrush, and I just kind of go with that. And everybody finds their own unique way of working in ZBrush too. And I always find that's really interesting as well. Like everybody that joins the course learning ZBrush, they're coming from like so many different backgrounds, and everybody has a totally different way of approaching their work and their sketches overall. I have tried ZBrush for iPad. Actually, I can show you guys something. I can't talk about it. I can just show you. Yes. All right. Wait, let me grab. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? All right, here you go. And voila. That's what I did. I mean, at least like a cropped version of it. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to use, and keep an eye out on Maxon ZBrush's socials, and maybe you'll get some more info and more sneak peeks and stuff like that as it comes out. They're probably gonna be sharing a ton of other artists what they've been doing with ZBrush on the iPad too. So a lot of really cool stuff. I just can't talk about it because I signed my soul. I made a blood pact. Not that dramatic. It's an NDA, so I can't talk about it. But I think it's enjoyable. And I also enjoy the performance, so. All right. So... Are the courses available for download and or we have to access the videos after the course ends? Yeah, so when you're in the course, the only thing that isn't accessible after the 4 weeks is my mentorship, right? So when I give a feedback video, you can like access that for literally as long as you want. And then same with the course material as well. So it's still there for you, but you won't be able to like directly ask me questions or anything like that. You always come to the streams though, but it's not going to be the same, obviously. I'm not like reviewing your work directly. Now you want to look for your first sculpts to remember how this first... Yeah, I know. It's crazy, actually. Like, you don't realize how far you've come. You really never realize how far you come because, like, you get so caught up in everything that you're doing, like, in the now, that you get kind of frustrated, especially when you hit a wall of progression, where you're realizing that your physical skill, like you're not like matching up to what you believe it should look like, because that keeps happening. The more that you grow, the more you're going to hit those walls, and then that's how you know you're growing, is when you hit that wall, you need to push past it. But then it can be easy to like think like I'm not improving at all, right? So looking back occasionally is actually pretty helpful for that. I agree, Frosty. I agree. Okay, what am I doing? Right, I was gonna Dynamesh this guy. Too high res. So, like I said before, because I used all of this to help me sketch, I get all of like this interesting detail right here that I can use on top. Like I can start like sketching into, which is actually already kind of an interesting like horn thing. You get like some of this that's pretty low, like, you know, and one-sided and whole like. So what you can do to fix all of that is either beforehand you can do an inflate and then try Dynameshing again. This method is just for sketching, so you would have to clean this up a lot. But to get gesture and to just like go really quick, I don't find that to be a problem at all, especially if you're just gonna be doing something really fast. But geometry, you can go down into mesh integrity and you say fix mesh. If you have like a totally holy, like if you get like Swiss cheese, undo, do this fix mesh, and then re-Dynamesh. And then obviously there's also like a close hole function inside of modified topology. You can give it a good close holes. So I actually have that on my UI right here because it's just easier for me. Oh, hi, comics. Hi, Mars. How do I make a hole? It closes when you Dynamesh. That's where you're going to want to look into booleans. Booleans are going to help you out a lot. So you want to make like, if I wanted to make like some holes in this guy, I'll just do like a really quick idea of what a boolean is. Let's say I had one of these. This is going to be what's going to cut my hole, right? Very simple. And we're just going to put it where we want the hole. Let's say you wanted the hole right there, right? Going straight through. So you're going to take the object that is going to be the thing being cut from, right? Which is this. And you're going to click this second circle over circle right here. So not this one, but this one right here. Here, you know what? Wow, magnification. So not this one, this one. And then you're going to also say that this is your main object that you're going to be cutting from. So you say the start, and it's like this little arrow right here that you press. And then you can say, wait, where is it? Live Boolean. Sorry, you didn't, sorry, this one, my bad. Yeah, leave it at that, and then start, and then this one is the two circles. So on this first one, leave it as this, and then the arrow that says start, because that's like the hierarchy of where you want things to be cut from. So anything underneath this, these are the objects cutting from that thing, right? and you can actually use this to start moving it around. And you can see that it is in live, showing you where that hole is going to be created. And once you want to finalize that hole, because this is just sort of like a preview, what you're going to want to do is go down to Boolean right here, and then you're going to want to say make Boolean mesh. You will only want to have the start group and like anything underneath start to be active. So, turn everything off by holding shift and then clicking on the eye, and you can just turn on the start, and anything underneath that will be visible. And then you can say make Boolean mesh, and it will make that a permanent thing, which you can then grab from up here in your tool palette. Hopefully that helps. And if it's not clear, there's a good way to go about that on Z Classroom. If you don't know about Z Classroom, there's a whole bunch of tutorials. If you're ever confused or curious about things, you can look up what you're confused or curious about. So in this case, Booleans, you just type that into the search function and you'll be able to learn about it from Ask ZBrush and some other tutorial areas as well. Tutorial people. Okay. All night, man. All night. I know. It's gonna be a night, man. Why did I just delete that? Yo, I might have to restart. I just deleted that and I didn't save. Let's check to see if I have a quick save. I do. All right. Let's load that quick save. Yo, we're off to a great start right now. We're gonna save this. Okay. Don't delete anything. You can't get it back, so save. Just make sure you're saving. Okay. Oh yeah. Hey Rethon, how are you? Our boy is back. He has been resurrected. All right, let's redo this. We didn't really do too much, and I've got pretty frequent autosaves, so. So all of this is already just because I use the stretching and then inflate after Dynameshing, right? So it's looking like crappy, but when you zoom out, it gives like a quick, sketchy like detailing. That's sort of what I was talking about. I do not watch cricket, no. Random AI news. The recording industry has sued AI software developers, so that's a good thing. I agree. And, there's going to be people out there that are copyright naysayers and being like, yeah, but then the corporate orbital, I think just in general, like, the AI companies need to just they just need to get smacked down at this point, so. All right, no problem, Sneak. Have a great evening. Thanks for stopping by. It's good to see you again. Well, hear, like, read you again. Hi, Octavio. Sorry, I only speak English. Do I ever look at video game concept art for inspiration? Occasionally, like if there's obviously if there's like really cool art dumps that happen, because like some studios do that. I love looking at that stuff. But what I think I enjoy the most though, instead of like looking at like other games, is actually just, you know, other artists and what they're doing for their personal worlds and personal work, you know, when it doesn't have a filter of like a studio saying like that's not going to sell, or that's actually like not marketable, or we need to do this for the audience, and then changing designs based on that, which is like, it's great in its own right, but I also just love seeing like unfiltered creativity as well. So seeing artists' personal work, I think, makes me the happiest. Another question, can you add IMMs back to back without having to pause and approve it? Yeah, I mean, the only thing is, like, when you're adding an IMM, it's just making a mask. So you don't have to, like, clear that mask or anything. When you start dragging another IMM, it will just drag another IMM and mask that other IMM for you. So it'll just keep adding masks, but you can keep adding IMMs. And then after you're done that, you can just do a group by parts, right? And remove, or, you know, ultimately what should be happening is the IMM will be creating its own polygroup every time it's dropped down, and you can just control shift and click on all of those polygroups and separate them. If you're doing something that has multiple polygroups per IMM though, there is you can do like a split by similar parts. So every single IMM will just, you can just split them off by similar parts immediately. So you don't have to worry about like clearing a mask and, you know, whatever. It's just keep dragging them as you will. Boy. Boy. How would I approach modeling Batman Beyond's belt in ZBrush? That's a very specific question. First of all, there is, I mean, I could just give you an overview. I mean, yeah, you could just do, there are IMM curves for belts or curve flat as well. And then just like, you know, you can drag it out however you like, and then do an extrude on that. And then each one of, I think Batman Beyond, he has like, does he have the utility pouches or not? If you have the utility pouches, I wouldn't just do that with like ZModeler or whatever. I would actually just like every single separate one, I would just kind of append a cube and then I would just sculpt them in. Personally, that's how I would do it. Just a bunch of squares. Yeah, then perfect. Then I would just like append in a cube. So you can use an IMM curve, or you could even, yeah, I would, yeah, just use like an IMM curve. And if you want, like if I grab a cylinder here, right, and then I have like this curve flat, if you start dragging and you hold shift while you drag, you can see here that it creates a circle all the way around your shape. And you can actually, so get released, if I do split masked, I'll be able to show you. And it created this circle, which it's like one-sided, but if you wanted you could go ahead and hit it with the Z modeler, and then QMesh all, right? So now you have just like a cylinder that you can work with, right? Just like that would be like specific to like his torso. Because I mean, you could also just create a cylinder like this by initializing. So you can also just kind of like initialize, which would be, if we go ahead and grab over here, polymesh, initialize, you can do like a cylinder with like a certain amount of resolution and then cut a hole through it if you want. There's tons of ways that you can do that, but I would just say if you want it to be like right against his torso, because he's in that tight suit, he's in that ballet suit, you know, so Batman Beyond. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, the drag circle feature is really, it can be a little bit buggy though, so have patience with it. I find it's a little bit easier to work with when you have more points per curve. When it's a really, really big brush with very few points, you're not going to have an easy time making that circle. Every point means that it's making a break in the IMM that is being added to the curve. Promptly reminded that I see Shario. Yeah, it would kind of be like that though, especially when you have like a program like this where there's literally 100 ways to do every single thing that you can imagine. So just figure out what works for you, and that's good. Yeah, like the thing is, like I know that they're like the guys at id Software, they can do their hard surface modeling like directly within, like we did the Doom at ZBrush Summit, to, like when it was online. I got to like host. I was very stressed, but I got to co-host with Paul on that, which was cool. But we did the id Software segment, and they were showing that they did all of their hard surface stuff with Z Modeler. So it's totally doable, but most people that I know use it as a supplement. So, you know, you can get like your blockouts done, things like that, do your sculpting on top of that as well. But most of like the finalization, I think a lot of like, especially for really complex stuff, you know, it's just sort of a supplement, and then we finish up in another program or something. So that it depends again, like what's your preferred workflow. Some people just like, I mean, I personally really hate jumping from program to program to program. I would prefer it if I can do as much as possible within one. So I like to learn those tools, even if they're not as like refined and intuitive as you would like or you're used to, it's still there and functions. So if you can use it, get used to it, then at least you don't have to keep exporting, re-importing, and all this kind of stuff. So depends on like if it works with your flow. Hi, Masta. ZBrush VR, yeah, I don't know about that. Z modeler confusing. You love hard surface modeling in Maya. Honestly, wish they had two hard surface methods, similar to how they have multiple move. There are tons of hard surface methods in ZBrush though. You can quite literally sculpt it. So like obviously there's like the two classic ways of approaching modeling in general is box modeling. So you're starting out with like, you know, a cube and just extruding from there, right? Box modeling. So that would be low res to high res, like that workflow, but that is a very outdated workflow and not used for a, like, it's not 100% outdated. I shouldn't say that. Like there are certain circumstances where you would prefer to do that, especially when it comes to like things like simple props, etc. But when it comes to character art, that's not a typical way of doing things unless you're in pipeline and you're given a low res and then you're working from that specifically. But usually what you do is you work high to low. So that means you can actually do a lot of your hard surface sculpting within ZBrush. Yeah, I know it's not technically modeling, but then you clean it up afterwards with a retopology software, or you can retopologize inside of ZBrush as well. But I prefer retop in a different software. Doing sculpture IRL for 8 years now, you're finding it very difficult to adapt to ZBrush. How could you add clay without messing the polygons? Is it okay for them to not look pretty? Yeah, you don't have to make it. So that's the thing. Like, look at this. Look, nasty. The thing is, like, you can always just keep fixing things afterwards. So when you're doing like nasty sculpting and stuff like this, just to get an idea and just to keep adding and creating those shapes that you want, coming from traditional into ZBrush, it is actually, if you're using that same ideology, you can do that inside of ZBrush. It is absolutely possible to take something like this and clean it up afterwards. So yeah, don't worry about that, because what you're going to want to look at is Dynamesh, right? And also, I think something that would be very useful for you coming from traditional would be Sculptris Pro. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about Sculptris Pro, that might be easier for you as well, because that's not very technical. You just kind of keep going. You know, the types of brushes that you could probably use is, you know, you would really like specifically clay buildup, and make it so that it has a pretty large intensity, right? So if I were to come over to like this clay ball, and you want it to be like traditional, think about like these big chunks, like you're adding strips of clay. You could do it like that. There's also clay tubes. Where is it? Clay tubes. So same kind of an idea. And if you don't like the cube kind of look to things as well, you can change the alpha so that you have more of a like circle one, give it a little bit of like a fall off here, right? You can kind of just get like a build up function that isn't, so if you were to go over top like this, it doesn't build up. This is a clay, that's what clay tubes does. Clay buildup will keep going and building on top of itself, right? So you can keep pushing and pushing and pushing, but clay tubes doesn't do that. It does like a single like height until you lift your pen and put it back down. So there's different ways of doing that sort of a thing when you're thinking about using ZBrush. And there's like an old school method too, which I'm not going to show right now because I don't want to like switch out of 3D and do all that right now. But if you're interested in 2.5D mode, there is like a Z-Sphere sketch mode as well that you can, it might be interesting to look at. It has a super old school method though. I think the artist Big Red Moth uses that for all of his like bug looking sculpts and stuff. It has that look. Hold on, let's see. Big yeah. So here, I'll give you, this is Big Red Moth. So he uses that sort of like build up with Z Sketch, right? You can see like if you're familiar with it, like you're going to be able to see that clearly here with how he does all of this. So it's doable. All right, see you, Maddie. You already do VR scope? Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's exactly the workflow too, because like if you're doing sculpting in VR, getting the accuracy to do like detailing and cleanup and stuff, it's just like it's so annoying. Like anytime that I've done VR sculpting, it's really nice for gesture, and then I get frustrated afterwards. All right, let's like actually keep sculpting here. Sorry about that. this guy here. Hi, penguin. Moose roadkill vibes. Yeah, if Z-spheres help you out, that's great. That's actually not what I'm talking about, though. I was thinking more about like the Z-sketch method. So you actually use that in 2.5D mode, so it drops it to the canvas and you're drawing with Z-spheres. Like you're just like free drawing. So if you're interested in that method, let me see if I can, I think it's called Z-sketch. Dude. Oh, YouTube. Bro, the ads are relentless now. Oh. Yeah, I think it's Z-sketch, yeah. So if you're interested in that, that's exactly what it is. Turtle beetle vibes, exactly. So what I'm doing, right, is I'm going to make a land filter feeder. Land filter feeder that is very beetle-like. So, you know, for like mating rituals and things like that, they have like these big, like horned beetle type things that are shaped. I'm thinking also like of manta rays as well, but in terms of like, you know, the fighting and stuff, I think that having like big forward horns like a beetle would be cool. And then it's got like this back exoskeleton, like shell type thing that protects it when it's time to sleep, so no predator can sneak up on it and attack, because it's got this big shell, like you know, so its legs, you think of them as if they would kind of go up and they would be laying there like that, and the head, I'm thinking of the function, would just roughly, right, we could go down into this little divot area right here as well, so it'd be like a flat kind of thing as it sleeps. It's a fun concept, right? So I'm also thinking, like, I kind of want to make like a whole bunch of these. Like, I want to actually do like, I don't know, I don't want to burn myself out. I'm not gonna promise anything and burn myself out. Premium for YouTube, you can't watch Twitch anymore because you get like 63. It's so bad. It's so, oh god, it's so bad. Yeah, and there's no way around it too. I mean, there is, but they're also not. It keeps not working. Is it possible to import another file from another project into a project you're currently working on? And if so, how? Yeah, so it depends on like what you're working on, right? So if you're trying to import to ZBrush, ZBrush can accept FBX, OBJ, STL, like whatever you want, like that. And then if you're exporting from ZBrush to another program, keep in mind that if you're exporting this giant like file that's like 400,000 polys, it could be even higher when you're actually adding details and stuff like that. If you're exporting that, you're going to need to do a thing called decimation. You're going to want to lower the resolution as much as you can, because just exporting it raw like other programs aren't really going to be able to handle that high resolution that well. So if you're exporting it to, like, let's say Maya to retopologize, you know, you can export as an OBJ or an FBX, right? But you're going to want to do that as like a decimated version of its sculptural self. If you have already done your retopology inside of ZBrush though, and you have that at a lower resolution already, and you want to just like bake low to high, again, you're still going to want to do a decimation on your higher res, and you're going to want to export the low res that you retopologized and the decimated high res to Substance or wherever else you're going to be doing the low to high baking process for your maps and stuff like that. It is vegan. It's a land filter feeder. Well, no, it's not. It's not vegan. It's a land filter feeder. So it's still carnivorous, but to like other bugs and like whatever alien insects are in the air. So in order to export something, you just go over here and click on this button, and then you're prompted with a window where you want to save it, and then you get a whole bunch of different formats. So there's OBJ, there's GoZ binary, but you don't have to worry about any of that unless you use GoZ. You can export it as a Maya file, so a .ma. There's Web 3D standard, 3MF, Alembic ABC, Collada DAE, OBJ extended, PLYSTL, VRML. You get the point, right? Lots of stuff. And then there's also export, the FBX export import, kind of like master section. And this is where you can actually export specifically FBX files. You can specify if you want it to be a bin or an ASCII. If you want to smooth the normals, if you want to export with cameras, right? You can do all of that there. So same thing as if you import, you can import cameras from Maya or wherever else, as long as it's in FBX format. Anyways, okay, I'm going on, but yes, you can import and export. You need to do a stream challenge sculpt without the snake hook brush. I'm 100% sure I would fail by using it out of habit. What? Wait, so would I just not be allowed to use the move brush either? Because I could easily just like replace snake hook with move brush. It would just take more actions. That was mean. That was so mean. All right. Damn. But yes, I would be able to do that if I had to, but I don't see why you would have to do something like that. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question about importing and exporting. I know I kind of just like gave you a lot of information there. You don't even know what all that means. Sick, dude. Great. I'm glad to be of service. How brave Sir Monty, the goodest boy. He's good. It's behind me. It's on the floor. Right. There. What is the difference between snake hook and move tool? So the move tool is a limited version of snake hook. Okay, sorry, I'm like crucified for saying that. Some people live by the move brush, etc. Whatever, I don't really care. It moves things. So move brush. Wait, so the move brush right here. When you pull it out, it has a maximum. Look at that ding dong just being waving at you over here. So that is the maximum. So if I had pulled something, that is the maximum for one single stroke that you can pull in any direction with the move brush. You can also see it has a, it has a linear fall off. No matter what you do, it has a linear fall off, right? So if you use the snake hook, it does not have an ending. You can just do whatever you want. You can go as far. You can make anyone envious, right? So there's no restriction on it, but it doesn't have a linear fall off. It has an exponential fall off, right? So actually, I don't even know if it's exponential. It could be. Wait, let's look at this. Yeah, it looks, yeah, exponential fall off. So yeah. Snake hook gives you envy. Move brush is just, All right. Snake hook will obliterate the ding dong. Hey, man. Whatever you need to say so that you don't feel envious. I get it. I get it. But I think if you have like an issue with like not being able to control what it is that you're doing, Move Brush can actually be more methodical, right? But if you like what I do, which is a lot more chaotic, and then clean up later type of thing, you might like Snakehook more. Yeah, there you go, Radislav. Exactly. Move Brush is moderation. Snakehook is a cry for an No. No. Don't even be like that. Don't even be like that. There's moderation, sure. Moderate. There's no intervention needed with Snakehook. You be as free and crazy as you want to be. I don't know why you're restricting yourself so much. Maybe you need an intervention for how much you restrict yourself. Maybe we can pathologize this. Okay. What was I gonna do? The romping rhino. Yeah. He's romping. I hate rompers. They make me so uncomfortable. Sorry, the clothing item, I mean. I also don't like the word romp. It sounds ugly. Brian Anderson has a what's the shells? Oh my god. I don't do a lot of like flat shell like land animal stuff. I usually go like weird bug or something like that. More like skinny, slender characters. Spiders and stuff. Are they the ones that you have to get fully yeah, those ones, yeah. Yeah, I don't know who thought that was a good idea. Like, no. I mean, I get it, but also no. No. Okay, what was I gonna do? I think if this thing is going at the bottom, I think right here, we're gonna actually have to, we're gonna flatten this. We're gonna create a flat, because ideally we want that to sit down right in there so that it does not. So that while sleeping and also to protect itself from predators, it can kind of like do a, like it'll like sink right in there, you know? So right here, we're gonna add more wrinkles to suggest that it can, in fact, go back and down. And then this should be able to close as well. So on the back here, this can have plating. So this will be segmented plating. Okay. Yeah. That'll be segmented plating that can kind of like go over top of itself so that it can actually close as well and protect itself. Completely flatten this. I'm gonna create like, I think maybe more of like a table looking dude. It's like a flat top. Yeah, that'll work. I'm gonna save really quick. I actually have to go to the bathroom really quickly, and then I'll be back. So early break today, I think. I don't even hate the snake hook. It's just that every time I use it, you feel like you're torturing your model, seeing the stretch polygons. Bro, it's part of the process. No pain, no gain. Did you learn that? Design was created to look cute. It's a Trojan horse. It was made by people that actually hate. Wait, what? Oh, what's up with the nuclear? Nuclear. Transpose, you mean transforming AI class? Wait, what? What are you talking about? You don't want to sleep with your mouth open? Yeah, I mean, it's probably a bad idea. All kinds of things can go on. I mean, sleeping with your mouth open might indicate sleep apnea. No. Manny from Ice Age, true. All right, I'll be right back. I need to go to the bathroom really bad. I didn't do that before I started streaming. Okay. TMI. All right, I'll be right back. Verb. Okay, we have a Monty who only wanted to do the bellies. He only wanted to... We're doing an early Monty here. An early Monty. Yes. Yes. This is my boy. If you are unfamiliar with the streams, he says hi every single stream. He is a corgi, but he looks like a polar bear. And he's very happy. Yes. Very chill dude. Where do we sign up to pup sit your dog? Well, I don't think he would like you, unfortunately. He doesn't like anyone except for me and my partner. He's like, he just refuses. He refuses to like anyone except for my partner and I. So I don't know if you really want to pup sit him. I'm gonna be real with you. He'll probably just be like, he'll probably get so scared he will diarrhea, or he's just you're gonna hear the alert dog constant bark. He's gonna constantly be alerting at you. So I think it is. Yeah. Human grandparents? I don't know. We'll see about that. Okay. Yeah, you could try. Dude, somebody like had to come into our house the other day, and they came in earlier than we were expecting, and he before I was able to like put him away, and he just like ran right up to them and was like screaming, "Get the fuck out!" He was so angry. How dare you enter my domain? He's a good boy. He's a good protective boy. Yes, good boy. Ooh, you can go down now. I have a monster to sculpt. Oh, it's soup. Oh man. Hi Nicola, how are you? He has no idea that he's on stream. See, isn't that an interesting concept, though? You know what? You look pretty crazy to me. I don't know who you're talking to, but I accept you for being your crazy things. Except, the thing is, stream is real. It's just him that cannot perceive this or understand it. So really, the people that you like consider crazy, really actually crazy? Maybe we shouldn't be using this word anymore. Maybe they have a point. Deep thoughts. Good to see you too. with Monty when he knows that you are people watching. Yeah, he would never understand, and that's okay. That's a good thing. Like, what if people are just tuned into another plane? And while they're there, we can't understand what they're doing, so we get scared. I mean, to be fair, there's just like, when your brain is functioning, what we consider is normal is what we, like, you know, what the collective experience is, except, you know, like a dog experiences the world completely differently than a human does, which is species specific. Now, and there's multiple different ways that different people can experience the same color even, right? Not to say that the color would be different. There's an obvious, like, definitive spectrum of light. However, it would be interesting to just talk about it more and just, like, brains just operate differently from each other. So it's just sort of like, we define, like, crazy as, like, can't participate in society the way that isn't, like, you know, is intended by everybody else, or like the majority anyways. Now I know that there's like total breakdowns and things like that happen as well, obviously, but I'm just saying. The use of the word crazy is kind of used a lot, to say, maybe overused. Hi, Karis. How are you? Another question. If you're modeling a face and it's not symmetrical, is there a way to make it symmetrical afterwards? Yes. If you're sculpting a face, you could just come down into the Geometry tab right here, which is over in the Tool palette. Go down into Modify Topology right here, and Mirror and Weld. And if you are on the X-axis, so you can tell, if you have this up in the corner, the little this little guy, which I think the ZBrush, like, default has a little dude up in the corner. If you have him in the corner, you can tell if it's facing right. And so then, like, what the X-axis is wherever the red arrow is pointing. So mirroring on the X-axis right here would mean one side gets flipped over to the other side, right? So this would be flipped over to here. If it's on, this is the Z-axis and this is the Y-axis. So green is Y-axis, Z-axis. So you can flip them on any of the axes. You would just have to click on one of these, and you can do multiple at the same time as well if you want. We have no idea what the normal collective experience is. We just have descriptive words, but those words can mean different things. Yeah. It's just like normal is just defined and pathology is just defined in functioning within the context of social norms. To talk about the 11 dimensions that are coiled up into subatomic scale and so the fabric of the forks. Okay, so when it comes to, like, talking about, you know, like the multitude of different dimensions that there are, one, it's theoretical because it's, like, pretty well impossible to prove other than the fourth dimension technically being time, because you know, but when it comes to, like, the 11 dimensions, it's so heavily steeped in math that even, like, when you try to depict something like a higher level dimension like that, it's not really something that our brains would be able to understand. So you have to describe and talk about it through mathematical functions, right? Hi, literally me. How are you? So just start thinking about this a little bit more. So this is all, so this is, okay, maybe I should, so this will continue into here. There's no cutoff. It'll just kind of be a continuation from the top plane into the horn. Into the horn. And then underneath, we're going to start having that cut function show up. So that right here, we can do like a skin attachment to the horn. That would be more calloused, but this could also look very wrinkly right up here. So underneath, we're gonna have to push this up more so that it has like that, like you can see that it's actively attaching. We're gonna have more of like a leather attachment, like a thick leathery, thick leathery attachment underneath. But there should be like an overhang here. Vary it a little bit more, and then I think I'm going to give it like more drop and weight underneath here, so like all of the skin is bunching up and hanging down. Use the inflate brush here to kind of help that out. Yeah. Big. I don't mind the symmetry right now. And then this leather is gonna keep moving here down, and I think this right here is going to have a stretch, and there's going to be another attachment right here. So we don't want this to be sharp. It's a lived-in shell. It's not going to be sharp like that. It's not at this size anyways, because even rhino horns, they're not sharp and things. So thinking of this guy being like pretty big, like if it were like a land whale, right? So we can have all of this sort of like attaching, but also like weighted down. So maybe like divot right here. So we're getting that like leathery chunkiness. Because ideally what's going to happen here is this is the underside that's very vulnerable, right? But it allows it to raise its head up and also back down. So I'll show like a functionality here for the new people. Just like a rough functionality. So this, like, you know, obviously I'd have to fix it up with sculpting, but the idea is to push it in, back, right? So some editing there, but when it's like down, just look at the head area, right? And how it will socket in. And then as well, it should also have the functionality of going higher to collect more, right? So this technically, wait, if I can kind of, it's that right there. This right here should also have that ability to go up. Right, and so then it has a wider and larger collection. And so all of this right here, these front areas, this right here, anyways, not the front areas. I'm thinking of making these plates as well that interlock, because then it can take the entire front section and close it off. It can technically take this, right? This will be really rough for defensive purposes. And take this, and like it'll be able to like close it up when it's tucked in. So that's also kind of the idea. And then obviously legs are legs, it'll be able to kind of tuck. Welcome back, Maddie. All right, let's see. What are you saying? Learning disability in math. Dude, honestly, math is really hard for a lot of people. But I think like once you actually, like it was really awful for me as well. And to be fair, I don't do a lot of math anymore. It was like, I remember pretty well failing out of math. Like I failed math when I was like, because I was just like not paying attention in school at all. And like daydreaming and stuff, just like I didn't know what the hell was going on. But then the next year I just kind of, everything just sort of clicked for me, and then I ended up getting a math award. So it was like from failing all the way to like amazing what paying attention can do to you. And also like a change of teachers as well, right? Like somebody who actually like takes the time to like show you you know, one-on-one, they're not like droning, and they make it fun. Like they can see like, oh, you got a different way of learning about things, let me address that. having good teachers makes like a significant difference, right? And everybody's going to be different about like depending on like how you learn. Having an engaging and encouraging teacher is really important. You haven't seen Luke? You were off for a year and then you came back, you haven't seen him? Oh yeah, I don't know, he might just be really busy. Time considered to be a fourth. Oh yeah, one slice, yeah. Yes, yeah, and that was even kind of explored in the movie Interstellar as well. And like, you know, some people are like, they're like, oh, the second half of like Interstellar kind of like fell off, and it like turned into like this weird emotional experience rather than a purely scientific one. And I feel like in terms of something like that, when you're reaching a wide audience, like you can't just go only scientific, right? It doesn't have like, you know, when you're telling a story, when you're telling us like any kind of a story, you need to have some sort of like there has to be some sort of a purpose, a reason. That purpose could technically be to just share scientific knowledge, but then again, that wouldn't be the type of movie that you were making either, right? So, I don't know. I enjoyed Interstellar, but I know a lot of people that, I guess, like, part of the confusion might have been because, like, they're like, oh, well, Kip Thorne is involved, and we're actually gonna get like finally like a super realistic version of like a black hole on the big screen or whatever, right? And then the fact that it turned into like a different vibe at the end of the movie, I guess kind of threw out a lot of people. I love that movie. I will never forget Miller's Planet though. That was, oh, that's still one of my favorite moments in any movie is Miller's Planet. Like the realization that wave, like those clouds were, or those mountains were actually waves. Loved that. And the tension and everything, it was wonderful. It almost like, I think too, it kind of reminded me like, you know, if you are in like Seattle or Vancouver or, you know, near the mountain ranges in Mexico or anywhere like that has those mountain ranges in the background, sometimes, especially on like foggy days or like overcast days and stuff, you can think that those mountains are clouds or something else. It's kind of cool. There's like a sort of optical illusion, and then when you actually realize, like, no, that's structure, like that's not a cloud, that's like real. That's when it's like, ooh, that's that same vibe, you know? You never made it through without falling asleep, but you want to give it a real go. Yeah, it's I think if you're unfamiliar with, I mean, they simplify relativity pretty well, but at the second half of the movie, it starts to jump to very, very abstract ideas. So that can lose a lot of people. But I thoroughly enjoy it. Do you rig or animate the models that I sculpt? You notice you gave the creature those features, so you're curious. No, I don't. I do not. I don't do that. Be cool, but I don't have that patience. Like chapters. Yeah. You just wake up during pure chaos. It is. It's sort of a slow burn of a movie, right? The cube. Oh my god. Am I max on ZBrush or what? What do you mean? We are on the Max on ZBrush channel, correct? Whoa. You always stop when you wake up because you're like, spoilers! Yeah, Inception's a lot of fun. I keep hearing that I didn't see Paprika, but I keep hearing that it was like super inspired by Paprika. I have to watch that still. You had one good math teacher and he's the only reason why you can survive in the wild without a calculator at times. Yeah, like it just takes one bad teacher to completely throw it all off, right? Did I hear about Shane Olson? He hasn't been on in 4 weeks. No, I don't know. You might be. Why, do you know anything? Or now you're concerning me. Is something wrong? Is something okay? I'm sure he's just busy. Wait, let's just like. I think he's fine. Yeah, I think he's fine. I think he might just be busy. You say it like there's something wrong. Do I? No, I answered that. When you start getting into 3D, is that a lot of 3D artists and educators really talk out their design ideas and a lot of technical stuff that they're using to create their fiction more so than on the 2D side out of some specific concept artist design. I think the reason is retention. Like, you know, if you're doing like live stream, a lot of it is like viewer retention as well. Like sometimes people will kind of come and watch like a painting stream, but the thing is, like, showing that function just as fast as like what I did, like just really quickly, it's not as like easy to do when you're drawing. So sometimes like when you're just like drawing, you just want to draw, right? Like when I'm drawing, I find I have to like focus, like especially if I'm also talking and drawing at the same time, or answering questions or whatever. I probably would just want to draw. But like when it comes to 3D, it's like a lot of like, you know, the 3D concept is like functionality as well. Like, so 3D concept is also like design. I mean, not that 2D isn't, but sometimes it's like 2 steps, whereas like 3D, when you're going in 3D, you're also finding out functionality. Like, you're not just doing like a crazy thing and just leaving it as that, and then somebody else has to deal with everything. I mean, it can happen, but it's not as common. Usually it's been like ingrained that if you're doing like a sculpture or for concept purposes, you're also helping to figure it out. So these processes are happening immediately. Whereas like if you're drawing, you might not actually, like, at least for in my experience, I might not actively be thinking about functionality, right? Like as I'm doing it, it's sort of like drawing and then I'll add functionality. I mean, same thing can happen with 3D though. So I don't know. I just do it a lot on my live streams as like talking, just because I find that if I am not doing that, then people sometimes get confused as to what the heck they're even looking at. But like blunt this out a little bit, because like none of this stuff at this scale would be that sharp. Okay, so I don't have symmetry on this guy. Just gonna grab that back. And that can happen sometimes, if you're working pretty freestyle like this, you can lose symmetry. Make the underside right here more fun. And I think for like prevention, so to prevent being like flipped over, I think I'm actually going to give this like a curve inwards so that the lip of the underside is actually further inwards than it is outwards, which will prevent just like things digging up underneath. Let me get like Sorry, gotta move my mic. It'll be a little bit closer to me. Jump scare if it's a little bit louder than normal. Let's see. I'm gonna look at like some rhinos. Hi, Lester. How are you? How's it going? Dude, Google is so awful for AI stuff. Give me a break. Okay. You like to think more about functionality in your 2D? Fair enough. I think everybody is different with that. Grab a reference really quick. What would be the best way to Dynamesh a model that already has subdivision levels without losing detail? So you're going to be getting rid of the subdivision levels, just FYI, if you do Dynamesh. But if it already has subdivision levels, the best way to do that would, I mean, I guess like the best thing is to just duplicate it off just in case, right? And then on the highest subdivision level, you can Dynamesh that, right? You will lose details, but then you can just Dynamesh until you have a high enough resolution that would handle those details, even if it doesn't like reproject properly, and you can start reprojecting that detail into like from the original subdivision level version. So basically what I would do is just reproject if you needed to re-Dynamesh an area, but it really just like, it depends on what you're doing, because sometimes you don't really need to do that. Sometimes you can just do like a union, remesh by union in some areas. And then you wouldn't have to re-Dynamesh the entire thing. You could just do a remesh by union. Sometimes I have to do that with hands and fingers. You know, if something is completely detailed already and I don't want to re-Dynamesh to lose that information, I will separate the area that needs fixing and I will, you know, Dynamesh that and work on it and fix it, and then I will merge those two subtools together and say remesh by union, and so then it will attach those, and you can go in with your Sculptress Pro over top of those areas and add a little bit more topology and smooth it out, and then do a reprojection from the past one, or just resculpt in that area to have the connection work more solid, work better. Sure, you can do like turn off the blur if you want, but if you're Dynameshing and then doing a reprojection, the blur doesn't matter or whatever. It doesn't really matter because you're just going to be taking whatever mesh it is and using the reproject, right? Like, so it doesn't matter what you have. If it's blurred or not blurred, you're still going to be reprojecting those details. So creating some housing for these legs, these leggies. Make this part also flat. Big carapace like thing. That. How does a snake hook brush work? You find sometimes you grab topology to pull out and it stretches geo and what I feel like it's in a random direction. It's not in a random direction, it's going towards the normal. So wherever you're pulling off of, it's going towards that normal. So normal is the face direction. So if we were to grab like this thing, right? So the normal is, here, hold on. So you see in the very center right here, pointing outwards, there would be like a little line. This is a face normal. So it'll be pulling in whatever the normal of like these points are. The screen, it's also like based on how you're looking as well. It will pull out in that direction. So face normal is, let me give you a thing here. Okay, so face normal, right? If this is like your face and these are your points, so the face normal would be right here and this would be pointing directly out, right? Face normal, that would be facing like that, right? So that's the direction of the normals. That's the one behind. So it's directly out. Then these ones right here would be pointing up, right? So these, if you think it's a random direction, it's not. So if I were to use snake hook, this would be on like a cone angle. I could like pull it like in a sort of like angle from there. You couldn't pull it towards you. You couldn't push it back with the default settings. You would be pulling it based on this sort of like angularity. So it is also going to be kind of averaging right here and going off into like the middle. You know, so if you hold shift as well, you could snap it directly to the x-axis as well, right? Or, you know, when you're pulling shift directly up or down or left to right, and then that's also based on the camera, like your screen direction as well. So if I were to pull this, right, screen direction and the normal, if I pulled the face area, oops, disappeared. So it's not like a random direction. It's like you're pulling based on the normals of when you pull, and then your screen direction. I'm not very good at explaining, but hopefully that gives you an idea. But hold shift, it's like if you want it to like snap in either direction. Like if I wanted to snap here and straight, I could do that. You can pull it straight. Yeah, it's like I wouldn't really think about it like as if you're doing that though, because it's not very intuitive. And it's mostly think about it as like like where you're looking with your document, like with your camera. So it's like it can be camera based, but up in the picker menu, you can actually change the depth as well. So where it's like picking things. So this is like a continuously picking the Z depth. So it'll be very fluid, or you could say one Z, close Z, farthest Z. So you can play around with these types of things of like how your depth. I'm not very good at explaining that specifically without like a whole bunch of demonstrations. But it's definitely something you can look into, is the picker as well. But the snake hook, like, I think if you're comfortable with the move brush and just kind of like moving stuff around gently with like little nudges, then that's totally fine as well. Snake hook works really well when it becomes sort of like second nature, that when you're in like a 3D space, you know, like how to like push and pull things, like you know which direction that's going to be. Like if I wanted this right here to go in a diagonal, I would instinctively turn it to a diagonal and pull, because now it's pulling on a diagonal. If I wanted it to go this way, like only this way, then I would snap it to the front and then pull. So it's not like random directions. Did I already try the ZBrush iPad version? Yeah, but I can't talk about it. Yeah, it's like it's hard for me to like super explain, because I don't know it how it works like to the technical T. So I probably said some things that are slightly incorrect there, but I do know that it's normal based movements, but I think it's like based on the active points. So the points, like the vertices, because you can't like technically move faces specifically, but maybe like an averaging. But yeah, in the just think of it as like how I showed you with the camera. So like if you wanted a diagonal, you move diagonal. You want up and down like this, make sure that you have it have your camera face that way. It's the same with the move brush, honestly. The difference is like the fall off, right? So like the move brush has a linear fall off, whereas the snake hook has an exponential fall off. going to, I think, change. I think I want this to be here. I think I'm going to separate. I'm not going to separate, actually. Yeah, actually, I think that might be a smarter thing to do. I'm going to separate. Hi, Leonard. How goes? How are you? Okay, we're going to split this off. Because now I have more freedom. Actually, same with the top thing, because then I can start playing with the silhouette a little bit better. Top carapace. So I'm splitting off areas that are supposed to be the hard carapace shell type area versus the bottom, which is all of the fleshy bit. The mouth of it. Well, he's a filter feeder, so. To like properly figure out the underside here. So I want to split everything off. It's easier to control. Okay, that'll be good. Split masked. Wayfect. Alright. Grab these guys. Here. Yes. Split that. Perfect. Hi, Surjit. How are you? I'm glad you could learn something. Is it worth it? I think I'm actually going to enough room for those to kind of go in, and I think overall I want this to be spaced bigger. Oops. Yeah, I should save. Hello, Renault. How are you? How's it going? How goes? I'm doing good. Making a land filter feeder with a bit of a shell so it can protect itself from big predators. Even though this is very, very big, on the plains of this alien planet, the predators are even bigger. Crafty. Save, and then I will Dynamesh, close all the holes, get this guy all figured out. Really, let's grab this. Grab the inside right here. A good depth. Majestic. Also finished. You know me. You know me with these concepts. Finished. But thank you. How have you been? think we need to like make these legs longer. More forward. Hmm. The unfinished is the majestic. Perfect. Perfect. I think this needs to be longer. I need to figure out the overall shape here. I think pushing that back a little bit does help. This needs to be backwards as well. This guy. I think overall it needs to have more. Okay, let me play around with something. Was the last stream I completed after stream was in? What was that last stream you completed after stream? Sorry, what? Wow, that was a sentence. Comics helped me out there. Help me out with that one. Are you asking about the last stream that I did on ZBrush, or like the Alien Rider one, or? Like that. Like that. Not good. We can break this guy down then. What have I completed recently or took further than the end of stream? What was the last thing that you saw? Haven't posted any like personal work for about a month, I think, or something like that. It's been a little bit. You don't think? Yeah, you probably didn't miss anything. I haven't been posting like a ton of personal work. Being bad like that. Honestly, it's probably just burnout. I'm getting back at it though. I've been doing some figure drawing and stuff, so it's not like I'm not doing anything. Definitely doing art, but it's like actually finishing something has been bruh, you know? I just realized I could also make this into an alien rider. We could have 2 alien riders. Do another alien rider of this guy. That'd be kind of funny. This is why I'm thrown off, is because that shouldn't be there. We need the scapula kind of thing. Shoulder blade is like more like that. That's why I've been like so thrown off. Right. Correct your course. Yeah, I wish I could show you like the whole thing because they cropped it. They cropped the iPad one for their socials. Okay, I'm gonna quickly save this and I'm gonna do a where is it? Transpose master. T-pose mesh. I'm gonna T-pose that mesh. So this is usually very helpful for figuring out the overall pose of something with all of the subtools attached. So if something is really bugging you, this is a great way to kind of adjust things, figure it out. I think with these, first of all, I'm gonna make that neck like real thick, like to be able to support these massive display horns. How that suggested here that there's like an internal viewing of that muscular and skeletal system. Actually view like the platelet would be the muscles. This would be all of like the filter things, which I will add, I think, an extra like these little things to grab. Now I gotta balance. Hello, Sculptastic. How are you? I think it's definitely this back area right here. I'm wondering if I want to like, I think I might want to actually raise it upwards. And then I'll flatten it again. All right, no worries. Thanks for hanging out, Digital. Have a good evening. Guys. Sometimes I find it's best to just zoom out that much. Thinking maybe it needs to be up higher, actually. Close that one. Might make more sense. Yes, it might. I like that more. Okay, this is making a little more sense. So we're going to go back to T-pose sub T. Your computer crashed. Time for a new one. What? Oh, right. You didn't get. I thought you already got a new computer. No, you got a new Cintiq. Different. Okay, let me save real quick once again. Let's give this another Dynamesh. 2 HD monitors might be too much for your graphics card. Damn. So like what? Like 4K? What is this tool? This is ZBrush. You're on the ZBrush channel right now. I Dynameshed it to have a resolution, I think. No, we're good. We're good. Just kind of took a little bit for it to figure it out. Now let's move these around. Just sounded like it was about to take off. Fair enough. Yeah, I've only got 2K monitors, but that's like more than enough for me. I don't need 4K. So grab these, and I can adjust them. Delete. How much 2D sketching do I do, and do you think it's an important skill to have as a 3D artist? I used to say it's not important when I was like, I mean, it's technically you don't have to, right? you really don't have to know how to sketch. But I find that having another medium, if it's not sketching, then painting or something like that, can help you explore more, be it in, you know, in terms of like your concepts and functionality and things like that. It's useful to be able to draw over the things that you're doing to kind of get an idea of where you want to go with silhouette wise and stuff when you can't see things in 3D. It's nice to like mix things up a little bit. I like to draw a lot. I especially like gesture drawing, and I've been doing a lot more like, you know, just natural facial expression exploration and things like that, figure drawing, etc. So to like help solidify anatomy and things like that, where you don't have to like do a full sculpt all the time. You're doing like a sketch, like a 2D sketch, which I find, you know, is not it's not as like time consuming to just get something out really, really quick and dirty and like learning at the same time. But obviously to get like a good drawing, you would have to spend a lot of time on it, right? But I find it very useful to have both skills. But you don't have to. In order to be a 3D artist, you don't have to know how to draw. If you're going into concept, it can be very, very useful though. Okay, what's going on here? That's fine. Is drinking water good for sculpting? I would say so. I would say that drinking water is good for living in general. You'll be winning at life if you drink some water. Any tips for someone who just started learning ZBrush? keep things simple and think about details as a layering process and shapes as a layering process. Everything about like your like sculpting, think about as you're doing stage 1, simple super big shapes, and then stage 2 you're cutting into those shapes and adding a little bit onto those shapes to not change the overall idea of that first step, but to add to it, right? And then keep doing that layering system until you have a significant amount of detail that would describe what it is that you're sculpting. So keep things simple and work and make sure that your simple stage, the most simple stage, makes sense and is solid before you proceed onto detailing. As someone who never really learned how to draw and still managed to get into the industry, I couldn't agree more. You sort of feel what you're missing, or you sort of feel that you're missing something that could be useful to push your craft further. Great news, though. From my experience, it's never too late to implement the stuff later on if you want to focus on one thing at a time. 100%. Like, you don't have to be a maestro at drawing at all, but you will hit a plateau, right? Like, because when you start doing sculpture, I mean, some people can just do like one thing all the time, only that, never touch anything else. Like, I get it, like super one-track mind. Totally get it. But some of us will hit a plateau where we want to branch to something else. We want novelty. We want to try something else, to expand and do something maybe faster than what we're used to doing, or in a different capacity, or challenge ourselves in a different way. And that's where you introduce another medium. So when you're tired of one, you can jump to the other, and vice versa. But you don't have to be like as good in one as you are the other. It's just a matter of giving yourself those options and you know, the breadth to explore and have fun, right? So I think that's like the biggest thing too, is like not taking everything super serious. Like, it's art, right? You're expressing yourself. You don't have to be you know, like, you don't have to be like this tortured artist, right? You don't have to go by that standard of what art is like, you have to be all like moody and whatever to that, right? I think it should just be fun. It should unlock your creativity and make you excited to want to try things. And I think having multiple when you're first introduced into you know, a medium, everything feels new and exciting, and the world is your oyster, because your learning curve is like, you know, it's exponential. You're going really fast, really far up, but you're going to hit like a spot where the improvements are not as noticeable, not as quick anymore. So when you do introduce another medium, that same thing can kind of happen again, and it gets exciting. The key is to not just constantly be comparing yourself to people who have been doing that specific craft for like 20 years or something like that, because of course you just started or something, right? So what the heck? Because I think a lot of people give up on like drawing and painting because they get excited to start doing it. They get proud of their first little drawing or doodle or whatever it is, and then they went and they looked at other people's art and they got defeated by it. But I think the correct response to all of that is inspiration. You should get inspired. Like, that's where you can go. You're not there because you didn't dedicate 20 years of your life to doing it, but that's okay. It doesn't mean it's too late. Some people don't need 20 years either. Some people only need 5. Some people, like, you know, you find your voice faster. So I think it's just about getting in there and just doing it, exploring. All right, let's give this a Dynamesh as well. Okay, right, I wanted to like look at this guy right here. I'm not sure. Wait, hold on. So think it should be pulling backwards. Do that instead. Also, if you guys don't know who Renault is, sorry, I didn't do the shout out. Renault is an incredible artist, was the ex-lead on Overwatch, and has been working on a really cool game in another studio now. Definitely check out his work if he wants to drop his work. That would be completely his prerogative, though. It's just the big old ZBrush. Some ZBrush is really good for getting the big forms in. Have I animated any of the pieces I've done, or is it just purely sculpting? Yeah, it's pure sculpting. I actually graduated from animation school, and I don't anymore. The cool thing is that we feed each other. Yes, we're cannibalistic. Yum 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 yum. Other artists, yum 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 yum. The more you do 3D, the more oh, you're talking, okay, not eating each other. We're the two things feed off of each. Okay, I see what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Yes, the more you do 3D, the more it'll be easier to understand how forms interact with each other in 2D. The more you draw, the more you'll be able to practice in your shape language, etc. Yes, I agree. Everything works if you're analyzing anything, even if you're not doing art and you're practicing your analytical skills, even if you're just going for a walk and being present and being aware of your surroundings, and when you start to hone in on like a tree or something like that, and actually trying to understand fundamentally how that works, how that looks, all of these kinds of things, you're actually practicing your analytical ability anyway. So passively you can improve your ability to see, and improving your ability to see and like the functionality of things and that ability to analyze actually contributes passively to improving your artwork as well. Obviously, you need to drill in your ability to have that hand-eye coordination, what your shorthands are for sculpting and or drawing and or painting, right? But at the end of the day, if your visual library is not very full, if you have not practiced that ability to analyze and break down shapes and just to see things, that technical skill won't go as far as you want it to. You're a dinosaur in the industry. Oh, whatever. Kids who are so good. Okay. Some people have been coming out of the woodwork and they're like, here's my first sculpt. And I'm like, I wish that were my first sculpt, but no. I came from a dark place. I'm so 2016. Whatever, dude. Whatever. You very much love to explore new things. Sometimes you worry that you want to try to learn too much, and people often say it's best to specialize. You just can't abide by that. It feels so limiting. Yeah, you don't have to specialize though. Like, that's the thing, is the better term would be to be a jack of all trades, or at least many things. Like, just expand your knowledge to the pipeline, right? Because even though I don't rig, I don't animate, I know the basics of that. I know what is needed to go through that whole pipeline of character creation, right? And then you specialize in one thing, but you still have touched everything else, and occasionally you touch other things as well, just to help your own projects. So the idea is like generalize, but focus on one of those topics specifically, right? I think that's the key thing. Well, I should probably work on the legs. All right, let's do a Dynamesh. Actually, let's just keep working this way. Let's do subdivisions right now. Okay, I gotta figure out this bottom again. Yeah, dang. Causing myself problems. Okay, so because it would underneath, we're gonna need a plate. We're gonna need a plate. Plating. Let's see. Ryzen 5 2600X and 16 gig RAM DDR. You can use this program? Yeah, you can. Yes, you'll be able to. I would say that, you know, if you want to work with things that are even higher resolution, something like if you're working upwards of 50 million per like sculpt, you might want to upgrade from 16 to even 32 gigs of RAM might help you with performance. It is very CPU based though, so I think it should be fine. When it comes to adding surface details, like the inside of my creature's mouth, would you recommend keeping Dynamesh on or subdividing? So I like using Dynamesh. It really depends on what you're working with. Like if you've already got clean topology and you just want more detail in that area, then you can subdivide, sure. But Dynamesh is just it's mostly for if you're not comfortable with the shapes yet. So big shape changes it's ideal to use something like Dynamesh because, you know, when you're subdividing, you're not actively changing the topology, you're taking the existing topology and dividing it by 4, right? So you're adding a higher resolution of the existing polygons. So if you are going to make big shape changes, that means that subdivided will just be stretched, right? So you won't have even topology over everything. If you're saying something like this and you wanted to start adding like really fine details, because we've got like our secondary shapes in here now, like, you know, we can start working on like, you know, even finer details. But let's say I didn't want to make any more shape changes, you know, this is where I want it to be, and now I want to start using alphas or something like that. You could do, you know, as for sketch-based stuff, you could do that. But if you want really high fidelity and clean alpha placement and detailing, then the idea would be to duplicate this off, do a ZBrush, right? Or you would do a full retopology of it in another program, have that low res, bring it back in, and then subdivide it a whole bunch of times and reproject the detail from the Dynamesh onto the subdivision model. And then you could use the subdivision model and hit it with another subdivision, or just leave it as is and start doing your alpha placements, because then that topology would be a lot cleaner. So if you're looking at it right now, so this is Dynamesh, right? So it doesn't have like clean topology. Nothing would, you know, if you're dragging out a, let's say if I were to drag out, oh my god, I am spacing right now. Anyways, just because the topology is not even, right, and you've got all of like this nasty, this is totally fine for if you're doing like quick sketching and stuff like that and getting your main forms and stuff. But once you start adding details, right, if you don't want this kind of thing and then it being like uneven in certain areas and having like that sort of like jagged jagginess, you will want to have a cleaner surface to work on that has higher subdivision levels. Because even if I were to subdivide this, it does not, like I can go control, wait, no. Well, yeah, okay, I can hit this with a control D. Now we've got like 11 million. And what that ends up looking like is taking what is already existing and dividing it by 4. So it's even doing that with all the triangles and whatever n-gons might be in this. So you're still not going to have like a clean placement, but you can get like some more detail into it if you really want to. Sorry, it's lagging because this is not a clean mesh, plus it's at 11 million. So your ideal for putting down any kind of like really clean detail would be to do a ZBrush, then subdivide and project. Anything that inspires you to learn and grow is good. There are way worse ways to invest less time. It's true. It's true. Even if you do a drawing, you think it's not very good, that's better than drinking yourself into a hole. Sorry. I didn't mean that to be judgmental. It's just sometimes what I think to myself. I'm like, you know, that drawing sucks, but I still made a drawing and I didn't waste my night. Comics, don't wow me. Don't wow me. Wow. Yeah, wow yourself. Wow. Wow. Wow, you're so judgmental. Wow. How could you say that? Wow. Maybe I was commenting. No, I think you weren't. I think I could see what you're doing. I could see that. Nice try though. Nice try to reframe. I see you. an elephant. It is. The elephant rhino legs, yeah. Yeah, it's all right. I think the back area, like, you know, it's if you just kind of like you do this and then you do this. Wait, you just kind of like, this is looking good. And then you've got the back. So I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out for sure. And then the front stuff, like this. Like, back that up. Maybe instead of going back like that, it should. Pulling back. Out. A motion that looks like it's pulling back. Mr. Monty is behind me. He's literally like, you can't even see him. He's literally laying right behind me, under my legs. To make another type. The Cybertruck creature. No! Why did you say that? Cybertruck creature. Now I really have to change it. I'm gonna change that. Oh no. Not the Musk. It's the Musk Walker. The repopulator. Sorry, is this Elon Musk meme that I saw? This, I'm going to give it a decimation. Reprocess. It looks like a candle. Yeah, it's gonna be like a grabby thing. And then I'm gonna decimate it to probably 8%, probably fine. And I'm going to duplicate this. So. Stuff. Go back to this. Where is the axis? That's symmetry, axis, other one. Yes, there we go. This one, another of these. Oh, yeah. Okay. Set to that. Stick to. Again. Oh, okay. Here and weld that. Noise. On the inside here, I'm going to do more of like a fiber mesh type situation. I'm gonna have like a blend for sure. Let's go down to fiber mesh. We can do a preview. let's change this color. And we will do the length. Max fibers is lower, bigger coverage. Can do so I could do where's the gravity? It's lower. Oh, the length can be less. Do more length. And more gravity. Coverage variables will be larger. And we will give this more segments. So it is smoother. Going to do less gravity. Okay. I'm gonna do a little less than that. I think we're just gonna hit it like that much. Say accept, no fast preview. And then from here, I'm going to do a previewing again on top of that. I'm going to lower the amount of max fibers. I'm going to lower the length and the overall coverage. Change the gravity. No revolve rate at all. The length can be longer. No. I do a revolve rate like really crazy on these. Actually, that might look interesting. And then give it could be interesting because then that ends up being like grabs, like little no revolve rate. We'll lower that, and then the twist will be higher. Segments. Lower the twist. Feels better. Accept. No effect. And duplicate this. That ever happens, by the way, when you know, you're getting like different things, that's because the overall the normals got flipped somehow. So to fix that really quick, you can quite literally just do a mirror and weld and it will fix it for you. Hello, Omar, or Omer, sorry. How are you doing? Hi, Rava. Mute? No. I was just a little bit. I get a little bit engrossed if nobody's asking questions after like 4 hours of streaming. I kind of get like a little bit just really involved. So if you want to ask anything, feel free. Totally cool. Not, it's cool as well. Oh yeah, no worries. Glad to learn. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free. Ask away. Blender? This is not Blender, no. This is ZBrush. Yeah, you don't want to explore. You don't want to go in there and explore. It's bad news. That's not that's not good. That's like Journey to the Belly of the Beast type of shit. You know? Yeah, I don't animate. I like to do sculpture, and animation is, I mean, I went to school for animation, but it's not something that I do. More of a just a 3D artist, concept artist. There, I feel like just that helped so much. That helped so much. Oh my gosh, that was the answer. Just like turning down the back area. That's what, isn't that wild sometimes where you're working on something and just a simple change like that can like give a cohesion to everything? It's like, yeah, I'm working with straights. Why didn't I just do that? Like straight angles. All right. Well, anyways. Like it does, it works so much better because I feel like before the problem was the design, it was leading you off, right? Like it was leading you out. Now look at the silhouette. This is feeling like, it doesn't feel like it feels like you're ending and continuing back right over here rather than like just sliding off the back like a water slide. I was getting pretty, I was actually getting kind of angry with it, I'm not gonna lie. I can duplicate this here. Edit this. Where is that back plate that I made? Let's hide this and I'll find it. Oh, I must have deleted it already. Okay. Oh no, it's back here. Okay, I'm deleting that. There we go. Ah. Knows, because I have not been saving. How long have I been working with ZBrush? Close to a decade. Probably like 9 years. That's a really stupid question. In like a ZBrush stream, why are you even asking US politicians? I'm not even American. Will he even having some forest on his back? I don't think he's gonna have a forest on his back, no. There's a indie game actually where you kind of walk around on a giant like creature and build like a civilization on the back of it. In the mouth, you see everything you ever want, everything you ever need, and it's right there in front of you, so you must jump in. That would be a great evolutionary trait, yes. Yeah, it actually just like has a psychedelic mist that it sprays onto any brain that operates with a type of like a serotonin reward system. By them, Mother Nature, yeah. Hey man, you never know what's on another planet. Speaking of, I'm going to be jumping over to the Gnomon channel right after this. So definitely give Pixelogic a follow so that you can see more ZBrush streams. But Alien Riders with Jared Matt and Hammy are on Creature Corner is going to be on tonight, and I have another thing to work on in regards to that stream, and that'll be 2 hours. So right after this one, I'm jumping over there. So we're gonna be going for another 20 minutes. The reference board for this sculpt, there is none. This one is a for fun type of thing. We just started from a sphere type thing. Usually a lot of my quick sketches, I just do that. And then if I like where it's going, then I'll bring up a reference. I'll bring up, like, I'll create a reference board for it or something, and then get it looking even better and tighter design-wise. So, for example, like with the alien that I'm doing for Alien Riders, today I just made a reference board for it, which is ridiculous because, like, the other guys, they already have their references, and I've just been, like, floundering around. But that's usually how I work. That's how I, like, concept things. Unless, like, there's a very specific prompt for it that I have to go off of, right? Like, if it's, like, a very specific thing for a script or whatever. If it's for my own thing, sometimes I don't really know what I want to do, so kind of fun to just, like, go off of vibes. And then get your reference board after. Like for this guy, probably grab turtle shells and beetles, whales. I did have a rhino leg open today, so I could see how that works, but overall, it's about that. Do the back legs need 3 divisions? You mean subdivisions? I mean, yeah, but I'm not even, it's still like a sketch. Like, I'm probably gonna Dynamesh it, to be honest. I was just working with the subdivision levels in this case from a what's it called? From a cylinder, just because it was easy and it was there and I could control everything pretty quick. But typically I'll just, like, Dynamesh and pull and push. Maybe, I think maybe I want to like do something like this. Three parts, like, do you mean joints? You look at an elephant's leg or a rhinoceros's leg or anything that's like big and chunky like that, the joints are there. However, because of how much skin is over top of it, you cannot really see all the time. It's not very obvious where those joints are. And that's sort of the idea that's going on here is the joints are there, but due to the amount of overlap, they might not be overwhelmingly obvious to you. It would be so used to compose a heavy cavalry in the Middle Ages. Oh yeah. We could do like, we could give it like an alien, he could be an alien rider. Cause yeah, like riding up right up here, perfect. Right at the top. Here, wait, let me do a BIMM. Dude, legs. Wait. Wait, where's the oh, nope. Okay, and then grab where's the leg? Just with that off. I'm gonna give it a head. Oh my god, what happened? Very good. Very good. Now it's an alien. Very good. Use that right there as like footrests. Perfect. An alien rider. Wait, let's see. Where's the ring? Inflate. Hell yeah, dude. An alien rider. Perfect transition into the next stream. This is my thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. Look at her go. A bunker in its shell. Yeah, there you go. It's a rider. Hell yeah, dude. Wait, let's see. Where's the actual rider parts? I need to make this into a folder. Big. Okay. Perfect. Hide the rider. Might be onto something. Yeah, I mean, anytime you put a rider on something, it just looks like now it's got storytelling, right? It's not just a creature concept. Now it's got storytelling. So anytime something starts to tell a little bit of like a story, you know, might be going somewhere. But then I'd have to figure out what the heck is riding this. It's on an alien farm. Oh. 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 Smooth. Look, it's an alien now. Such a happy alien now. Why is he got a butt? Why is he kind of Yo, what's that doing, man? Oh, wait. Oh, yo. Actually, let's. Oh. E.T. Giving E.T. Sorry. I'm sorry. It's just send this to James Cameron. Oh, tardigrade. Oh my god. Dude, no. Oh my god. Okay, I need to stop. This is so busted. What is this? Scoliosis. Yes. Now it's an alien. Anytime you want to make something an alien, give it scoliosis. No offense to people who actually have scoliosis. I understand that's like a whole thing. That bad joke. Sorry, my bad. Yes. Perfect. Perfect. Now he's an alien rider. All right, I gotta get off because we're gonna be streaming over on the Noman channel next. But this was what we did. This is what we did today. Interesting. Put this down here. All right. So that was our dude for today. Land filter feeder type thing that can protect itself with its shell. and has some functionality for once. All right, so I'm going to be going over to the Gnomon channel I'll be there in like 15 minutes or something like that. So if you're interested in more Alien Riders, feel free to check that out. Otherwise, definitely follow the stream that I'm on currently, which is the ZBrush, the Max on ZBrush channel. Reason being is there are other artists that also stream on this channel that I think you should definitely check out. And what else? Oh, right. If you have not followed any of my socials, you can feel free to do that there, because I announce anytime I go live on my socials. All of them are in that link, and if you don't have the link, if you're watching on YouTube after the fact, the link is right here, acube.art/links. So I will be posting anytime I go live on this channel or any channel on any of those socials. All right. The bust of inspiration energy, yeah. Well, we got to do another 2 hours over on Alien Riders, so I'm gonna go and take a quick break, and then I'll be live there. All right, follow Pixelogic or Max on ZBrush, and I will see you all on the next one. Okay, bye. Bye.